BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Camilla Colognori, based in Amsterdam. Welcome to this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you to welcome me.
So, as you know, I would like to ask you some info about you, and then we can talk a bit about your photography, your experience.
Yeah, let's do it.
So tell me who you are. I know that you're Italian, based in Amsterdam. So where you come from exactly? Tell me more.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Italian. I originally come from a small village in Tuscany called Barga, very, very tiny. And then when I was 18, I left Italy. I went to live in China for 5 years. And after that, I made my way back to Europe and I ended up in Amsterdam. So if you were wondering why am I living in Amsterdam, it's just a way for me to be closer to Italy without necessarily being there. So
okay. It's cool because it's, spending 5 years in China, it's a long time. I can imagine that was difficult in the beginning to sit there and learning Chinese. I mean, I learned a bit of Chinese, so then I know the difficulties, especially in the accent.
Yeah, it's tonal language. But it was really interesting time of my life. Let's see, maybe if the situation gets better in the future, I'll have the opportunity to go back. But
where you was based in China?
In Shanghai.
Okay, so you was in the south. And I can imagine that was also pretty interesting and comfortable there because completely different from the north.
Yeah, still nice. I can confirm.
Nice city, Shanghai. So anyway, how did you start taking picture?
So I've always been interested in photography, like since I was a kid, I grew up with my father being passionate about, the camera itself. So he collects a lot of them, not necessarily use them because once digital photography came over, those old cameras I used to work with film and everything, he didn't really use them anymore, but I've always seen them, always been interested, in understanding how they work. So a couple of years ago I was back in Italy for Christmas, and then I asked my dad to explain to me, how one of these use, and eventually gave it to me. So once I went back to Amsterdam, because here I feel like there is quite a big community of people that like to shoot analog. It's easier, compared to our country. If you want to develop, if you want to scan, if you want to, get any of these products that are stores that are available, and it's easy, to keep this passion, on. So from there I started shooting analog, and I really liked it. Like I really felt it was totally different experience from shooting digital. You really need to understand, to stop, to look at what you want to transmit with your photography, instead of just having endless opportunity to shoot digital. I feel like this is something everybody that is working with an analog camera kind of recognize. So
I don't know. I mean, it's a discussion I kept many times on the podcast, especially. I think it's the same for me. I mean, for my side, it's the same. Analog or digital is completely the same. I mean, I usually West my rolls without thinking. I mean, it's as a digital depends. I don't like to West picture in digital as I don't like to West picture on roll. But if the moment needs, it's I'm a bit old school on that. I mean, I think like photographer was only able the roll film to use it, not only digital, no. So we talk about more on the 40, 50, 60, 70, you know, especially in the fashion. And they was using kind of 20, 30 roll for shooting. And yeah, so one roll probably had just one series of the same portrait, and that's it. So depends for me. It's everything in the way you want to use it, and I think yeah, for sure, analog it's really interesting on so many points. But I think in the same way, also digital it's a really interesting tool because you can even much more learn and experiment some other stuff that you cannot probably do it with analog. So I think
Yeah.
you know, in another, yes, they complete each other. But I was curious to know, maybe it's like here in Berlin, yeah, but probably there are supermarkets that they can develop the picture, no?
Yeah, there is this Dutch chain called Hema. You can go and you bring your roll and they can develop. But yeah, I've done it a couple of times there, but I prefer to go. I have like a place I like, and I usually buy both rolls and develop, and I can ask them to send me the scan. So yeah,
Yeah,
I usually go there.
that's
Yeah, but
cool.
it's definitely easier than in Italy. Like in 2 days here, they can send you the scans
I
and
don't know. I have to say, I was in Naples, and I mean, there was this shop was quite hide in the city.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people knows this place. It was more for photographer of wedding. But I discovered one day, and was not cheap, much more than cheap. I was paying like 60 cents per develop,
Oh,
and was really
okay.
really cheap. And the
Pass me the
print
name of the store.
the print was 1 cent for 10 per 15.
Okay.
Nothing, you know. So and I was developing kind of 50, 60 roll per month or every 2 months, like with 50 euro. You know, it's with nothing. So 50 euros, 100 euro maximum, and add a lot of stuff. So it was really interesting. But yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, also when I was in Rome, was difficult to develop. There are always the same people, same shop, but it's quite expensive. Who do it is quite expensive for sure. But let's jump a bit on your shoots. And so in your picture, there are a lot of for sure moment of your daily life, friends, and so on. And I'm asking to myself, okay, you have the camera always with you, or it's reserved only for some moments?
I try to bring my camera with me most of the time, like when I can. There are places I would rather not bring it, but yeah, I try to have a camera with me at any time. So in case I feel inspired or there's something like I feel like I want to capture, then I have it with me.
Okay. So and what do you do in the main life? I mean, your job is related to the visual communication, or
So no, actually, I'm doing something completely different. Like I studied economics or international business back in China, and then when I came back to Europe, I found a job, and now I work in procurement for specific for marketing and tech categories. So what I do basically, we manage the spend, we optimize the spend. It's really business oriented job, not much to do with the creative sector, but
Mm.
yeah,
have you
I
ever
feel
thought
like
have you ever tried to relate your job to visual art, to photography, or to other passion you have?
I did think about it, but at the same time now, yeah, I much enjoy this as a passion, and I don't know if then I were to bring this as a job. So like how then I will feel about it. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always thought about doing some arty
Yeah.
kind of being in that professional sector, but somehow I was driven into business. So who knows, what the future holds for
Yeah,
us,
I
really,
mean, everything depends on also the time we have to manage some stuff. It's require a lot of time. I have to say, and this project for require a lot of times,
Can
a lot
imagine. Yeah.
of hours of work. I mean, for free because then it's yeah, for sure. Even if I collect sometimes some donation, it's for me. I don't know. I will keep always aside as a donation and to reinvest them in doing other stuff inside of the project. So then uh, I keep like yeah, it can be an experience, an opportunity to make more than by my side in other things. But so let me understand. How many should you do it usually? How you archive the picture? How much is easier or complicated for you to manage your picture?
So it really depends, if for example, if I have some times that I'm more inspired than others, and I have these ideas in my mind, and my friends are always there, modeling for me or like supporting, if I want to, if I have like a specific brief in mind, then I go and I try to do it as soon as I have it, fresh in my mind. Other times maybe I'm less inspired, so I leave it on the side for a while. But I think like in the past 2 years, it's been quite stable. So I go visit a place, I bring my camera, I try to capture the moments, and then in the way I manage when I'm back in Amsterdam, I develop and then I select the frames that I like,
Yeah.
and I share them.
And there are some moments in your daily life that you choose to take a walk and to going just out taking picture, or it's more like okay, I have the camera with me, and so then when I feel it, then I shoot.
Sometimes, of course, I go for a walk in Amsterdam. Maybe I see it's a nice day, or maybe I'm going to a specific place and I'm like, okay, I bring the camera with me. Not necessarily I will shoot, but if I feel that moment is right, then I'll do it.
Because you said before, yeah, there's a big community of analog, so I was imagining that you also get in touch with someone there doing that, no?
Um, I've done some things with my friends. I know that there are more people doing this because I've seen it in the community. I've seen like amazing work, from artists that are based in Amsterdam and in the Netherlands in general. But I haven't really met, face to face with them yet. I would love to, of course, but these days, it's not
Yeah.
really easy to organize these kind of things. Probably summer is easier than winter time, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially in these days, it's not easy, but I will say for sure in Amsterdam there are a lot of community about photography because yeah, there are a lot of festival and association that they're really
Yeah.
cool about photography. And I don't know about lomography and analog because I think analog shooter are everywhere in general, as in Berlin for sure and Amsterdam. I mean, the North Europe is much more used to use film than the South Europe. But yeah, I think it's a community in a way is growing during this past year, these years actually, because also of I would say the trend we can say that use film. Also on Instagram, a lot of people, even if they never shoot a picture, they use films to
That's true.
follow a trend, And in a way, I don't understand one thing that probably you also ask to yourself that why is going to increase the price of the film then to go down
Yes.
if many people using again, and this is crazy. And that's another point. I think that's why it's difficult today to shoot more film than like digital, for example. Uh, Probably one of the things that make the people more aware to what they should or not. But yeah, if it was costing, I mean, I remember 10 years ago, I could buy with 25 euro 10 roll of Kodak gold.
Wow.
And now you don't find it. I mean, it's another point. After the pandemic, I don't know why, but the Kodak gold, the Kodak color doesn't exist anymore. I mean, if you find it, it costs a lot of money and it's just someone reserved.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with the Kodak in the pandemic, but yeah, actually, just in the moment started the pandemic, stopped the production of Kodak.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the, down the supply chain, at manufacturing level. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
I'm not really, like super expert on that, but I mean, let's see. Maybe there will be a revival soon and prices will go down. I hope so, but for now we need to be. For now we need to be really mindful what we are shooting. Unless we have endless resource to just invest into that.
So I'm curious to ask you, what do you think about your photography? And I know it's a passion. It's something you do it distinctly, and it's something you have aside. But I would like to know what is your feeling with watching your picture.
Well, for me, it's like I managed to capture moments that I felt a deep connection with, in my life, and some other times it's just like trying to create, something, an idea or something I have in my mind and transmit it visually. There are way of communicating things in several ways. There are people who do music. There's people that are, artists and paint. Others that are writing, and for me, I felt like transmitting what I like, my impressions and my emotion, my feeling through photography is what gives me like pleasure, and also I feel like I managed to express it matching what I do really feel. So that's what I like, of my work. And of course it's I do it mostly for myself. I would say, there is not a second purpose why I shoot or why I decided to start, with analog photography. Just, makes me feel like I can look at the world, through a different perspective. And to go back to what you were saying about digital, with analog, what I really like is that I don't need to process the picture, so I can
because
work.
there is someone else doing for you.
Yeah, process in the what I'm saying, process is really post editing, so when you have like a digital shot, like most of the time, like you retouch or you go into post edit and you
always
go
like that. I mean, it
no,
depends
but
how much you are experimenting on. I mean, yeah, for sure, if you just grab a camera normal, in difference between analog and digital, that you don't have the film that give to you the effect that you are talking
exactly.
about now, no? But I will say also, I started to use a lot digital old cameras, also really damaged, and I got results really interesting. Even open the camera, putting doing some modification inside of the camera, or using plastic things in front of the lens. There are many experiments that you can also do it with digital. Not necessary. You need to go on a software to make it.
Yeah, of course. What I'm saying is the color that you get, it's more vibrant,
Yeah, but I'm
the
totally
grain,
agree with you about that. I mean,
like
it's also what I say. It's there are possibilities of solution that someone I see and I tried, but I'm totally agree with you that in the analog for sure you have the film, and the film, every film give to you some kind of vibes that it's difficult that you can obtain with digital. This is totally sure.
yeah. So yeah, that's why I like it, and that's what I feel, I want to transmit with what I create.
And do you think what to do with the picture? I mean, more than just sharing on Instagram, or I don't know. I think you have a lomography. I don't remember now if we got in touch with lomography or on Instagram.
I don't have a lomography actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question: why you don't join in lomography, for example?
I feel like if I have too many channels, then it's gonna be difficult for me to keep all of them updated. That's why, you know, I try to keep consistent, you know, into one channel, and maybe try, now I'm working on a website that I can put some portfolio there, but I don't want to scatter around too much, because otherwise I know myself. And
I would suggest you to use Lomography, because Lomography has a big community about analog pictures. I mean, you don't need to really keep to update. I posted the picture like once per year, and I continue to have a conversation with the people, new people. So it's
that's nice.
not really like it's not really a social media, you know. Started as a flick in the past, just to archive the picture and get in touch with the community. No one see if you update it or not. I mean, I think no one go to check that. It's more they check the picture you do it, and they comment, and it's nice because there is a lot of them, and they swap the picture also, they exchange, you know, or they make this challenge between them. It's a really interesting community, I have to say. I mean, if you are in analog photography, it's I think the platform for you. Yeah, you should try.
Okay, I will give it a try.
And I wanted to ask you also, okay, you are so practically working on a website, so then I can imagine that in a way you are approaching to using your picture as a project, or yeah, categorizing them in a way that fit as a close project or not, and what you have in mind, what you are doing in that.
Well, I think you will see it once I can, you know, show you the full website when it's ready. Like, I will send it to you, and maybe we can have a follow-up conversation on that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would like to make a review audio. I mean, watching your picture, I can imagine that's a lot of different things on your Instagram. In a way, is I feel it more like as an album of collection of many different moments, and not necessarily one line or one topic.
Yeah.
So more
Correct.
it's related to friends, travel, and some moments alone. That's totally clear. I like some of the shoot more than others for sure, because there are more intention to do it photography. I mean, it's clearly that you was more there than just shooting a picture. And I'm asking to myself, have you ever considered to use your picture to have something else? I mean, yeah, you said before the purpose is one, it's you do it for yourself for sure. Then, and it's something I do it too. But then I think also, okay, I have 1,000 of picture, and what I can do it with this picture? How can I use them? I can make them alive. I mean, longing. During the time, because this is another effect of photography. Take a time, and this longing come back just in the moment you take the picture in your hand. Otherwise, will not have a longing.
So what you're saying is, if I print them, or
I mean, it's if you ever try to for example, I tell you one. 5-6 years ago, I was printing my picture and giving for free. I mean, I was meeting people in the bus during my travel, and I was giving to them this picture. I was printing, so I printed like 500 picture. I was writing stuff I had in my mind in the bus, and if there was a person I was stopping to talk with, I was giving to them my pictures. And happened also sometimes that I met people years after that they met this person, and they received this picture from them, and they had this picture, you know, with these things. Like, for example, in Amsterdam also happened that 4 different people I met in 4 different cities in 4 different time of my life, they were all together. And they had all of them one of the picture I gave to them.
But this is nice, no?
Yeah, it's really crazy and interesting, because it's a hyper connection, no?
Yeah.
Or yeah, using your picture. I mean, there are classic mood to make exhibition, or you know, there are some people, for example, in Bologna, I've seen a lot of these people. They print the picture and they they attach in the wall, in the street, or they leave somewhere, there are many ways to use the picture. And then I was asking to myself if you ever asked to yourself to use the picture in that way.
Yeah, so I've thought about what I could do else of just sharing and just keeping it for myself and like storing them as negatives, but again, until I find something that really get my attention and really I feel it's connected to what I want to transmit, then I won't necessarily do it. So because I'm still a newbie, I haven't shot analog a lot, I like photography, but really as an amateur, I'm not professional, like it's not my job, so I would see, and keep I think the most important thing is really finding something for yourself that you want to transmit and be real to that. So once you can find that purpose and this kind of satisfied your creative thirst or appetite, then it's good, but I don't want to do it just because I feel pressure of doing it, or because I feel like I'm missing out. I would see where this journey brings me, and I'm sure if you keep doing it with enthusiasm and passion.
This is really important. I stopped for some years to shooting pictures, and I started to write poetry.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I was totally out of pictures, but yeah, I was totally in a way, because poetry, I think, is totally a visual communication. And last question before to leave you, something you would like to do it in the futures that you didn't do it until now? I mean, in general, it's not related to photography. What else you want to tell me?
I'm not sure. I feel like I would just keep doing what I've done so far that I like, and then see and develop it, and then I can understand where it brings me, or if there is any other door or opportunity that open up. But I feel photography is still a great part of who I am today, so I want surely keep investing into that, maybe deep dive even further into that world, and see if I can put up a project together and do something more focused, or just keeping exploring, and then see. There's no rush for me. I'm in a good place where I am now, and I try to get the most out of it, without rushing into something else. Just
don't rush.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment.
Present.
Thank you for your time and for this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting.
Yeah, it's nice for me to meet you and to keep aware that you are existing. And yeah, if anyone wants to see your work, you can find the link in the description. And I hope you have a good day there. And I hope it's a good day there. Today is a good day in Berlin, so then I hope also there.
Well, let's see. Maybe the weather will improve through the day, but yeah, likewise.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you want to learn more about us, you can visit the link allmylinks.com, Berlin Explorer, or our website BEEXproject.com. And if you want to follow us, you can always get news from Instagram on our account BEEX Project. Thank you again, and see you in the next episode.